Everybody, welcome to our Digital Insiders Aspire Masterclass. Really quickly before we get started, can everybody just go ahead in the questions box over in that little dashboard that should be on the right side of your screen. If you could just type in just anything really in the chat box just to let me know that you can hear me okay and you can see my screen. All right, cool. So everybody, cool. Welcome to the Digital Insiders Aspire Masterclass. I definitely see some familiar faces. So really quickly, I want to give you guys just a quick rundown of what we're going to be covering tonight. And I know that this is going to be, a really great training for a lot of you guys. Some of you guys, it might be a bit of a review, and I don't want to, waste your time or anything. So just really quickly, this is something that's designed for those of you that have just gotten started with Aspire and you're working on your first 6 steps. And yeah, pretty much brand spanking new to Aspire, and you haven't really gotten beyond those first 6 steps. So if you're much further along than that, then this is going to be a much mostly a review for you guys, and you're more than welcome to stay. But I just want to let you guys know that going into this, so you don't end up spending the next hour on this webinar, and then at the end of it, be like, okay, well, what was that all about? I already know all this stuff. So again, you guys are welcome to stay, but I want to let you know that that's what this is all about. We're basically going to be covering all of the key points in the Digital Insiders, the Digital Altitude Aspire level first 6 steps. So we're going to cover all the key points that you guys really need to know, hammer those home, and then I give you guys the opportunity to ask any questions that you have. So we want to make sure that everybody just fully understands what needs to be done in the first 6 steps and really understands those principles. So this is an opportunity for me to get into a little bit more detail on some of that stuff. There's a lot of great training, of course, in the Digital Altitude members area, but I'm going to kind of break it down a little bit for you guys, just to touch, really hammer home the key stuff and give you guys also the opportunity to ask any questions that you have. So, does that sound good to you guys? And yes, I am recording this, so you guys are more than welcome. I will post this in the Digital Insiders Aspire level members area for you guys afterwards. But this is a great opportunity, to ask any questions or anything too. So definitely take advantage of that if you can. So, all right, cool. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to do a Q&A at the end, so you guys have plenty of time to ask questions at the end. I'll probably just, kind of go through this fairly quickly just so that we have time for all your questions, and then I might stop a couple of times just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Excuse me. But for the most part, we'll go through this pretty quickly because, of course, all this training is in the Digital Altitude members area, but I do want to hammer home again some of these main key principles to understand, to help you guys have more success and lay a good foundation for your success as a digital insider and as a member of Digital Altitude. So first thing is understanding what a top tier business model is. So a lot of people, when they get started with their online businesses, their focus is trying to sell just a ton of products, right? And this isn't necessarily going to be really high ticket items, but products that tend to be a little bit lower ticket items that might, if you're doing affiliate products or anything like that, you might be getting kind of not a whole lot of commissions for each sale. And as a result, you have to sell a lot of products just to make a profit. And this isn't really a very good business model. And the reason why is because if you want to build a real business that you can scale, and you can scale quickly, you need to be able to promote some really high ticket items that is where all your profit's going to come from, right? The low ticket items are something that you should be selling, but low ticket items aren't for making a profit, right? That's not how you're going to make a profit with your business. Low ticket items are often going to lose you money, but they're more of a form of advertising, a form of just a marketing expense to get more people into your sales funnel and help to build a relationship with more people so that you can build trust with them and then ultimately sell them higher ticket items. Because when you're doing online marketing and you're not, building a relationship with a person one-on-one, it's you can't just come right out of the gate and start selling products that cost thousands and thousands of dollars. It's going to be very, very difficult to get those conversions. So one of the benefits of the quote-unquote top-tier business model is that you are focused on selling high-ticket products, right? Like the example that he uses in the training is, what's easier to sell, 1,000,000 hamburgers for $1 each, or one single $1 million hamburger franchise? Because it's tough to make 1,000,000 sales, but if you can just sell one high-ticket item, you essentially are making the same amount of money. So you can make more money with fewer sales when you have the top tier business model. Now, with any online business, there's going to be 5 essential elements that you have to have in place, right? So you need to have traffic or website visitors. So if you're promoting anything online, you need to actually be able to get people to the page where you're making sales. And you need to have a funnel in place. Because, like I said, you're not just going to be able to, send everybody to a sales page that you have set up where you're selling something for, a few $1,000s and expect people to actually buy that. It takes time to develop a relationship with your audience and build a type of trust that will allow you to ultimately sell those higher ticket items. So that's why you have a funnel in place. Now, a funnel, what he kind of refers to is more of a marketing funnel in the training, which is not like your initial sales funnel, which is referred to as the filter. But your marketing funnel is essentially where you're initially creating some awareness. So you have just prospects, website visitors, you're generating traffic, and you're just starting to create a little bit of awareness around your products and services and your brand and who you are. And over time, some people will be interested in what you have to offer, and some people won't. But the first step is to bring some awareness around what it is that you're doing and what you have to offer, and then generate some interest amongst some of those people. So some people will be interested, some people won't. But then once you've got the people that are interested, then you can get them to make a decision to take action, to sign up for your email list and to purchase products that you have to offer. So that's kind of the marketing funnel. The filter refers to more like a sales funnel, where you have initially your prospects, the website visitors, then you have, like you might have a squeeze page, a lead capture page, where you get their email address so that you can follow up with them. They haven't bought anything yet, but now they're a targeted lead because they have said that they are at least interested enough in what it is that you have to offer that they're willing to give their email address in exchange for more information from you. Then you transition them into a customer where they actually buy something from you, and typically this is still a low ticket item at this point, and this is going to be, as we'll talk about a little bit more later on, this is more of money that's not going to go directly back into your pocket, but money that's going to go back into traffic to generate more people and get more people into your funnel. So it's typically going to be a lower ticket item because they don't have enough trust with you yet to be willing to spend larger amounts of money with you. They need to actually spend a little bit of money and see what it is that you have to offer and see that you do have a lot of value to offer before they have enough trust to spend spend a lot more money with you. But that's why you need a follow-up sequence. That's why you have to be able to follow up with your leads and with your customers to be able to, to continue to build that relationship with them, continue offering them value, and continue building trust so that you eventually later on down the road, you can sell some of your higher ticket items, which is why you have to have the 5th element, which is tiered products. So you have a little bit of something for everybody, something for people that are, just kind of testing the waters, all the way up to something that's going to be for your more, your super customers, basically, the people that are really loyal to you, that really trust you a lot, and that know that you have a whole lot to offer, and they, want to spend a lot of money with you in exchange for the information, the value that you can give them. Now, in order to be able to do this effectively, you need leverage. Free traffic is great, and free traffic is something that if you are just getting started, you can definitely utilize free traffic just to get the ball rolling, but it's not something that you're going to use long term because free traffic does not give you scalability. Free traffic is not technically actually free. Free traffic takes a lot of time. It takes your time, and that there's a limit to that. I mean, even if you're a selling machine and you're, spending 18 hours a day trying to generate leads and generate sales, you're still limited in how many sales you can make a day by your time, because you have to sleep, and there's only 24 hours in a day. So by being able to utilize paid traffic, you have way more leverage, because paid traffic you can scale immensely, whereas you might be limited to, if you were just a really hardcore sales machine, let's say, and you're able to generate, several leads a day, and you're making like, 4 or 5 sales a day, where if you have paid traffic, pumping people into your marketing funnel, and you've got a funnel in place that does all the work for you, then you can essentially, just more money you can spend on traffic, that means more leads and more sales, and you can be making hundreds or thousands of sales a day theoretically. So it's really important to embrace the power of paid traffic. And even if you don't have the money to spend on it now, and you're willing to put in the legwork and the sweat equity to get the business off the ground by utilizing free traffic methods, you have to realize that you want to move towards paid traffic as fast as possible, because that's what's going to allow you to scale your online business quickly. So when we're thinking about our advertising budget and how much money we should spend on advertising, well, the main thing that you have to realize is that the more that you spend, the faster you can scale. So whenever you are generating profit from your business, that profit should go back into traffic. Eventually, once later on down the road, when you're making you're making enough money where you can invest part of it in traffic and then keep some for yourself, that's great. But in the beginning, you want to invest 100% of it back into the traffic, because by doing that, you're going to be able to scale your business very quickly. If you try and take the money out and you don't put it back into more traffic, then you're not going to be able to scale at all. You're not going to be able to grow your business very quickly at all. So you can't look at the initial money that's coming out of your business as profit that goes into your pocket. That's money that should go back into the business to generate more leads, more customers, and ultimately more sales. And down the road, as your business grows, with all your follow-ups that are in place, and Digital Altitude does a great job of this for you, which is why we recommend that you guys promote it. Digital Altitude handles all of that stuff. So as long as you're putting your initial profits back into traffic, down the road, that's really going to reap big rewards, as some of those customers, some of those leads and customers that you've sent that way eventually turn into really high ticket sales, where you might be making a few hundred or a few $1,000s from a single sale that Digital Altitude is making on your behalf in their follow-up. So that's really the secret, is that you want to have high ticket back-end sales in your system to be able to, where you can draw profit from, and using these lower ticket items, these entry-level items, just to pay for your traffic. And again, we'll get into that a little bit more here momentarily. But another point that I want to make is that a lot of people think that the cheaper, whoever gets traffic for the least amount of money makes the most money, right? Like if I can get my traffic cost really super low, then I make more money. But that's kind of actually, it's maybe a little counterintuitive, but that's actually the opposite of the way you should be thinking. Because instead of thinking about how to get your traffic costs low, you want to be focused on how to get your EPC, or your earning per click, your average amount of money that you make for every single lead, customer, and even every single click. You want to get that as high as possible so that you can afford to spend more on traffic, so you can outbid your competition, especially if you're running targeted advertising or Google AdWords or something where for really targeted ads, it could get kind of pricey and you might have a lot of competition. If you can outspend your competition, then you're going to get your ads placed more frequently, and you're going to be able to generate more traffic, more leads, and more sales. So really quickly, just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, because I know I might be going fast for some of you guys that are like brand spanking new to this. I see some familiar faces on here that this is kind of a review for sure, but I just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So real quick, can you just type in the chat box a 1 if you understand where we're at right now, if all this is making perfect sense to you, and type a 2 in the chat box if you're a little bit confused, and I'll try and clear it up real quickly before we move on. All right, cool. Awesome. So, okay, we'll go ahead and move on. All right, so again, emphasizing the power of high ticket upsells. Let's think about this. So let's say you have 10 people that buy something from you at $100 per person. So each person spends $100 with you. Now that's an average ticket value of $100, right? So each customer is worth $100 on average. Now, if one of those customers, let's say you have a $1,000 upsell that you're offering after somebody buys from you initially, and one of those 10 people buys the $1,000 upsell. Now that's $2,000 that you brought in from the $100 per person for the initial sale, and then the $1,000 upsell. So that's $2,000 total divided by 10. Now with that one upsell that you have in your funnel, you've effectively increased your average customer value from $100 to $200, effectively doubling it. Now, just imagine if you have other products in your sales funnel that are maybe $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, and so on. You have really high ticket items in the back end that can dramatically increase the value of each customer. Even though every customer is not buying those items, if you average out the amount of money that you're making across all of your customers, your customer value, your average customer value can increase dramatically. And that is the key to having real success online. And that's kind of one of the cornerstones of this top tier business model. So the tactical triangle, so 4 elements of the tactical triangle. You got traffic, conversions, and sales. So that's what everybody focuses on initially. You got to get traffic, you got to convert that traffic into customers, and obviously that's where you make your sales. But the other element, referred to as economics in the training, it's really profit. So you have to keep in mind that you also have to make profit. So that way you can reinvest the money back into traffic. If you're making profit on your initial sales funnel, in the initial process, that's the point where you've reached, now you can scale essentially, like that's the tipping point where you can really scale very rapidly and make a lot of money. Because as soon as you can spend, like, say $1 today on traffic and then make that $1 back today so you can invest it again tomorrow, that means that you essentially have a limitless traffic supply. And if you have an extensive back end, an extensive follow-up series to promote additional products to those people that have signed up to your list that are now becoming customers, that's where you're going to make all your money. Now, basically, all your traffic's paying for it yourself. So any of those high-ticket items that are sold, that's all pure profit for you, right? So that's the critical element. You have to be making profit so that you can reinvest that money back into traffic, make more sales, and make more money. If you are, let's say, you're spending $1 per click, so $1 per lead. And let's say for each one of those clicks, you've got a 1% conversion rate. So 1 out of 100 people buy something from you, but it's only $50 profit when somebody buys. And you're spending $1 per click for those 100 clicks, so that means you're spending $100. You're making $50. All right, so you got the traffic. You spend $100 on traffic on 100 clicks. Your conversions you have conversions. It's not very high. It's 1%, but you do have the conversion, and then you are making a sale for $50. And that's great, but it's not profitable. So you aren't to that point where you're able to break even immediately and scale your business quickly, because when you're spending $100, and that $100 only brings you back half of what you put in, $50, now you can go buy more traffic, but now this time you only get 50 clicks at a 1% conversion rate. We'll say, maybe somebody buys, but just for simple math, if you were to make half that money back, it's $25. You would reinvest that into traffic, and eventually, pretty quickly, you run out of money, right? But if you're making that $100 back, if you're at least breaking even, then you can constantly be reinvesting that money. And if you're making a profit, then you can spend more each time you're buying traffic. So if you were making $150 back from your $100 investment, that means tomorrow you get to spend $150 on traffic. Then the next day maybe it's $175. Then the next day $200, and then that's how you really scale your business. Now, in order to be successful, just in general with your online business, you got to keep in mind this rule of 80-20. This is really important, and this is going to allow you to focus on the most important parts of your business, and kind of, not worry about the stuff that doesn't matter so much. So this applies to across all aspects of your business, that 80% of your results in any aspect of your business are generally going to come from only 20% of your efforts. So one example of this is that 80% of your income is going to come from 20% of your customers, right? Because you're going to make a lot more money from those high ticket back end items, but not everybody's going to be buying that stuff. So 80% of your income is going to be coming from 20% of your customers, and when you really get down to it, it's probably going to be something more like 90% of income is coming from 10% of your customers. But this is just something to keep in mind with your business in general, because by focusing on the part of your business that's bringing in 80% of the income, that's going to, like, just focusing on that and not wasting all of your time on the stuff that doesn't really matter, then that's where you're gonna have a lot of leverage. So focus on the 20% that brings in 80% of the results. So you want to focus on the 20% of your customers that are your really good customers that are going to be making you a lot of money, and don't worry so much about that one person that bought one product from you for $5 that just complains all the time. Sometimes you just have to fire your customers, right? Sometimes you just have to not worry about the stuff that doesn't really matter. Focus on what's bringing in all of the results, and don't waste your time with all the small stuff that's just distracting to you. Now, that's just one element of having a good entrepreneurial mindset, or the right type of mindset for running this business. But there's a few things that he brings up in the training that it's really, really good to keep in mind, this sort of stuff. That this is why having the right mindset is going to be the key to being able to be successful with this. And you're most likely already conditioned to want to give up before you've had success and had a reason to keep going. And the reason is because we are typically brought up with the employee type mindset. Like, schools are designed to prepare you for a job so that you can get a career and you can do the exact job, the specific job that's required, to be successful in that career. But the entrepreneurial mindset's a little bit different. Now, the educational system that's training you for these jobs, it's set up to punish you for mistakes. Like, you don't study well for a test, you don't do good on the test, you get a bad grade, and then you fail the class, you have to retake the class, and it's punishing you for your mistakes. Where, the truth be told, in order to be successful as an entrepreneur, you really have to enjoy making mistakes, because that's where you're going to learn. That's where you're going to learn so much more from the mistakes you make than you will from your successes. So that's why it's really important to start enjoying making mistakes to some degree, and kind of, don't be afraid of making the mistakes, because you're conditioned likely to kind of have an adverse reaction to making mistakes, to not, to feel like you're being punished, or to feel like, things are going poorly. But the truth be told, you're actually learning and you're making progress every time you make mistakes. So you have to kind of embrace that as an entrepreneur. Now, one of the big problems that this mindset can create is something called paralysis by analysis, where we're so conditioned to be afraid of making mistakes that we don't even get started, that we try to prepare for every possible outcome, we never take any action, and nothing ever gets done. So be sure that you're not falling into this trap. Being prepared is important, but don't get so caught up in trying to be prepared for every possible outcome of every possible situation that you never actually take action, you never get started. And this is something that it's very natural to have this fear and to want to be completely prepared for everything, because you have this fear of making mistakes. But you have to overcome that if you want to ever actually get anything done and actually be successful. So for those of you that have been through the training, through the first 6 steps, the next couple slides might look pretty familiar to you. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but it's just really important to keep in mind that if you want to be rich and successful, you have to have the mindset of somebody that is rich and successful. You can't have the mindset of somebody that's poor and unsuccessful. Somebody that's not very successful in life probably believes that life just happens to them and they don't accept responsibility for that, and that they're the victim. whereas somebody that has a successful mentality believes that they create their life, that they're responsible for what happens to them, they're responsible for all their actions, and they're committed to being successful. And they're very positive generally, and focus on opportunities, not obstacles. I'm not going to read the whole slides to you. You guys can check it out in the actual digital altitude training. But it's just really important that you think about what type of mindset do you have, and what type of mindset do the people around you have, because the people around you are really going to affect your mindset. When you talk to somebody about this new business that you're starting, are they really positive about it, and do they support what you're doing, or do they focus on all the horrible things that could go wrong? Right? I mean, a lot of people say you're the sum of your five closest people, the people you spend the most time around, and that's very much true. You're going to adopt their mentalities, you're going to adopt their mindset. So you really have to focus on associating yourself around other successful, positive people, and try to avoid being around those negative people that are always focusing on the problems instead of the opportunities. All right, so getting back to our top tier system a little bit, let's talk about why this franchise model, which the Digital Altitude program is essentially a franchise of sorts. Let's talk about why this model works. And so 85% of franchises succeed, 95% of most businesses fail. Like, new businesses fail all the time. So why is it that a franchise is essentially the same thing? Like, you're starting a business, right? Why is it that 85% of franchises are so successful while 95% of other businesses fail? Well, it's simple. It's simply that a franchise is a proven system. It's already proven to work, where most businesses, they haven't been proven, and there's a lot of outside elements that could play factors in why a business would be successful or why it might not be successful. But when you take a proven system that's proven to work and you replicate it exactly, then you're a lot more likely to have success. So owning this whole system, again, of course, is very hard work. It takes time to get to that point. You don't have to own the system. You might want to at some point. But Digital Altitude is really a great opportunity, as all of you guys know. I mean, you're already members, so I'm not trying to sell it to you or anything, but it is really a great opportunity for you to be able to follow a model that works. And then, once you've had success with this, once you've learned what you need to know about really, doing that front end, like online marketing, generating leads, generating sales, all of that stuff, then you can take that and apply it to your own business, and try branching out doing something a little bit new maybe. But this is something that works. Franchises work because they're a proven system. This is something that almost everything is done for you, and then your part, like what you have to do, is really just a step-by-step process that is systemized and scalable. And of course, the back end, you guys know all this, but the back end cost of actually doing a lot of the stuff that gets done for you by Digital Altitude is pretty darn high. So creating your own members area, creating affiliate tracking so that you can have people promoting your products for you, and earning commissions off of that stuff, that's pretty expensive. Being able to provide them with the training to be able to do this stuff, creating all that training, that's expensive. Creating the sales letters and copywriting service for the marketing materials that are used to follow up on your behalf. Hiring people in support to man your email support, live chat, that can also not only solve problems but help to pre-sell your leads into being customers, into purchasing like higher end products, and all this sort of stuff. I mean, these are all a lot of expenses that go into it, so I'm not going to read all of that to you. But there is a lot that goes into it, and this is why it's such a cool opportunity to be able to leverage a lot of that stuff to get those high-end, high-ticket sales. So some considerations, if you are building out your own sales funnels and your own products and everything, you do have to consider, how deep does your sales funnel go? How many products do you have? How hands-off is it for you? So is it something that can be scaled? Is it something that can be automated and systematized so that you don't really have to spend all of your time focusing on running the business, and you can focus more on just the, generating leads? How much profit is involved? Is it, is all your traffic paying for itself, or are you having to come out of pocket for that? And do you have, do you have to cold call people? Do you have to follow up with your leads manually, or do you have a system in place that does that for you? All of those things are going to help lead to having a successful business that, essentially runs itself 99% of the time. So, with digital altitude and other stuff, for those of you that have, that are my online business members and whatnot, you all know about this. But, one of the benefits to selling these opportunity-based products or information products instead of like physical products, well, is simple that, at the basic level, it's really because of the low cost, high profit margin. So because you're selling information, you're selling, people are buying like knowledge and expertise from you. And this is something that's very valuable, and it allows you to charge more for your products. And it's something, because it's all digital, it's not very expensive, so you can have very high profit margins when promoting these types of products. And when you are in these markets, when you are promoting these types of products, and really any product, honestly, when you're doing any kind of running any kind of business, it's actually not a bad thing to be in a competitive market. I mean, some people, kind of get shy away from that. They think that competition is a bad thing, but competitive markets are actually a good thing in a lot of ways. It means people that are willing to spend money for your products. So if you are entering a market that's not competitive, you don't have any competition, that's probably a pretty good sign that there's not a lot of money to be made there. So being in a competitive market, when there's a lot of competition, that's just a good sign that there is money to be made. But of course, you don't want to try to directly compete with everybody, because that's going to be a challenge. You're going to be like cannibalizing the market, and there's less money to go around for everybody. And it's really hard to break into a lot of times, because people are already very well established in competitive markets. But if you can niche down, you can really differentiate yourself from the competition, where you can still be in that same market, but you're positioning yourself in a slightly different way that allows you to get some of that market share without having to go head-to-head, directly in competition with somebody that's been around a lot longer and has a lot more leverage and a lot more resources than you. So when we are marketing online, there are three big niche markets that are always like the big three niches is what they're referred to, or the big three niche markets. There's the make money and finance, there's the dating and relationship market, and then the health and fitness market. So these are all markets that just have, they're huge markets. They're literally billions of people are interested in this type of stuff. And they're all profitable. So we all know that there's money to be made here, but in order to actually have success yourself, you do have to differentiate yourself in some way. Otherwise, you're going to end up going head-to-head with people that have a lot more leverage and power and can kind of crush you. So, so you want to niche down a little bit. And so here's some examples of how niching down works. So let's take a look at the health and fitness market, which we know is a competitive but very profitable market, and it's huge. Now, if you just were to create a generic health and fitness product that's kind of targeting everybody, you're probably going to have a hard time, because there's other people that are already way more established that have kind of niched down in their own way, and they've already found parts of that market that they really appeal to. So you have to kind of figure out a way to differentiate yourself a little bit. And so here's some examples. Like, let's say we want to get in the health and fitness market. Instead of creating just a generic product on health and fitness, what we might do is create a product that's all about weight loss for brides, and that's our market that we're targeting. It's, like women that have just gotten married that want to lose weight, or kettlebell workouts for women, or how to lose weight after pregnancy. So that's a common problem. Women, they put on some weight during pregnancy, and they want to be able to burn that off. So by niching down, you're actually able to appeal to a smaller portion of a market that already exists, but you can communicate a lot more effectively to these people because your marketing material, since it's talking directly to them and their specific problem, not just that they want to lose weight, but that they want to lose weight after being pregnant, then that then that allows you to penetrate that market a little bit and be different from your competition. So let's take a look again. We've talked about this a little bit before, what your product funnel should look like. Initially, when somebody goes into your funnel, when somebody buys something from you, more than likely, your first product that you're selling to them is actually not even making you any profit. In fact, most of the time, it's probably losing money for you, but it's helping to offset the cost of your advertising. So then you have additional products. So this might be like, let's say, have a $5 or $10 product that gets somebody to spend money, and you get to start establishing a relationship with them as they're now a customer of yours, and you can start building trust with them and give them reason to feel like they can spend more money with you and that they're going to get their money's worth. But then you have items that are maybe a little bit higher ticket items that might be 40, 50 bucks, something like that, or maybe 100 bucks, whatever it costs to pay for your advertising costs. So even at this level, you're still selling products that are really just offsetting your costs of advertising and trying to get to a point at least where your income from these products is paying for all of your advertising, all of your traffic, and all of that stuff. Then you have your primary products. Now these are products that are actually generating profit for you because you have these other products that you've already sold that are lower ticket items that are paying for the traffic. Now at this point, when somebody gets to this product, once they're at this point in your sales funnel, the traffic's already been paid for. Getting them to that point's already been paid for. So all the money that you make here generates profit for you, and then having high ticket back end products for those few people that just are like super loyal customers of yours and will essentially buy whatever you have to offer because they really like what you've got. That's where you're really going to make all your money. That's where all your maximum profits are going to be. So it really pays off to have a very deep sales funnel that goes from just very small ticket items all the way to really high ticket items. Now, you probably don't have all that in place, of course. So that's where digital altitude comes into play. Licensing is what you're essentially doing. As a member of Digital Altitude, you're licensing the right to sell their products. And this is one of the fastest and easiest ways to grow a business because you're already leveraging another company's brand. It saves a lot of time and effort that goes into building that brand and building all the products. And it really allows you to make quite a lot of money because this is this isn't just some product that you're getting affiliate commissions for. This is a whole brand with an extensive sales funnel and a strong brand reputation, and it allows you to really make a lot more money than affiliate commissions because you're essentially licensing the right to sell their super high ticket items that you would never get affiliate commissions for in a typical affiliate scenario. And you can actually, they deliver it all for you. So, all of this applies to more than just Digital Altitude, but obviously that's what we're talking about here is the Digital Altitude program. So, they deliver all this for you. Great system, lots of different products here. So again, at this point, just want to make sure that, just want to check in and see if any of you guys have any questions. And then I am going to, does this all make, I've got one more slide for you, but does this all make sense so far? Just type a 1 in the chat box if it makes sense. Type a 2 if you feel like you're lost and you need me to kind of clarify anything at this point. Yeah, so D. Ellis. Yes, that question regarding the tools that we have for you. So custom marketing tools. That's what my next slide's about. So I'm going to get to that. It looks like everybody's on the same page here. I don't see any twos, so everybody understands what we've gone over so far. So here is a note about the Digital Insider resources. So we've got some really killer marketing materials that we've used to help convert people into the Digital Altitude program. including squeeze pages, sales pages, custom sales pages that other Digital Altitude members don't have access to, email follow-up series that other Digital Altitude members don't have access to. And we even have a traffic source that we use that we will give you guys access to at no additional, no markup. So you're paying the same amount that we were paying for it. We're not making any profit on that. We're just helping you guys get traffic to your business because, when you make money, we make money. So that's what we're trying to do, just make it as easy as possible for you guys to have success and grow your business. So that being said, we are going to provide all that for you, but a couple of things I want to mention right now because while I know a lot of you guys are really eager and excited to get started with this, and that's awesome because you're ready to take action and you don't want to wait around. And I know that paralysis by analysis, you guys apparently don't have that because you're just ready to get started. So that's great. But one thing I do want to mention is that before you start spending money on traffic, there's actually, if you're just now at step 6, there's additional training that's going to help you better understand how you can maximize your profits to make sure that you're getting a positive return on your investment once you spend money on traffic. At this point, if you were to just buy a bunch of traffic, there's a good chance that you're not going to be able to make that type of profit that we were talking about, where you can just consistently reinvest and scale your business. So it's important that you understand how to maximize your earnings for every lead and every customer that you get before you start spending money on traffic. So that's more training that you're going to get access to. But if you're just at step 6 right now, you're not there yet. So that's one of the reasons why we haven't given you the training materials just yet. Ideally, you would develop your business plan before you even get started sending any traffic. And your coach is going to tell you more about that. So in order to get access to these resources, what we need you to do is first make sure you've completed level 6 of the Digital Altitude program. So once you finish level 6, schedule a call with your coach. Talk to your coach. They're going to give you more information about how you can, the next steps that you need to take. And after you've had that call with your coach, then you can email support at incomeuniversity.com. Let them know that you have completed level 6, that you've spoken with your coach, and that you're ready for your done-for-you marketing materials that we promised you, and we'll get that to you. So that's the process. Make sure you finish level 6, schedule a call with your coach. After you've spoken with your coach, then you can email support at incomeuniversity.com. Let them know that you've spoken with your coach and that you're ready for your marketing materials, and we'll get those to you. Okay. Yeah, Adi. So yeah, maybe you came in a little bit late. The disclaimer I gave at the beginning is that this actually is this is for Aspire level people. So this is for the people that are just getting started with Aspire. So if you've already finished Aspire and you've got your marketing materials and everything, then yeah, this isn't necessarily for you. But thank you for joining us anyway. All right, so does this all make sense? Does anybody else have any questions before we wrap up here? Because it sounds like this makes sense to everybody. Most of the questions that I'm seeing are related to getting your marketing materials, and I've just explained how to do that. So if you don't have any other questions, then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So, all right, cool. So thank you guys very much for attending. Hopefully this has, kind of helped us shed some light on some things for you. Yeah, so Neil, yeah, the business plan is something that will be discussed a little bit more in the later training. That's something that your coach will talk to you about. So yeah, that's why I say just finish level 6. Be sure to schedule your call with your coach, and your coach is going to give you more information on what your next steps are. Angela asked what the marketing materials are. So Angela, If you've already finished level 6 and you've talked to your coach, then just contact support at incomeuniversity.com and let them know that you want your custom marketing materials, and they'll give you access. The custom marketing materials are essentially done for you squeeze pages. So these are email capture pages that have done really well for us. That, you know, this is something completely unique to Digital Insiders. It's not something that you'll get from Digital Altitude. There's a couple of custom sales pages that are completely different from the sales pages that most Digital Altitude members have access to. It's completely custom for Digital Insiders. They convert better. They converted better for us. We've got a traffic source for you that you can utilize, that we're essentially selling you the traffic at our cost. We're not charging you anything additional to utilize the traffic, but it's very targeted for, you know, our custom marketing materials, and people are having a lot of success with it. But you do need to make sure that, you know, you understand how to maximize your profits and all of that before you start spending money on traffic. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and pop that in the chat box too. It's right here at the bottom of the page, but I'll type it in the chat box if that makes it easier for you guys to copy and paste. And yeah, to answer your question, David, no, this is Justin Smith, actually. This isn't Chris. Patricia, if you finished step 6 a while back, then that's fine. You can contact, um, yeah, just contact support at Income University and let them know. Even if you don't want to become a Rise member or anything like that, then you can still become a Aspire Plus member, and that's where you'll get access to additional training from us. You don't have to be a Rise member for that. All right, Chris, what exactly is it? Ask what is it that we're marketing? Chris, I would suggest be sure you go through levels 1 through 6 through the Digital Insider program, and or sorry, the Digital Altitude, and that'll help clear that up a little bit. I mean, essentially, you can use this to promote anything that you want, but the marketing materials that we're going to give you are for promoting Digital Altitude. Um, Angela, so yeah, we actually strongly recommend that you do Rise right now, that you do go ahead and upgrade to Rise, but if you don't, if you're not ready to do that yet, if you can always just become an Aspire Plus member, and you'll still get access to all the Digital Altitude training, and we'll kind of help you get prepared for Rise so that you can ascend to that level later on. All right, cool. Um, so it looks like we're running out of questions. Um, Aspire Plus, Neil, is it's just kind of for people that aren't ready to upgrade to Rise. This is something that at Digital Insiders we're kind of offering to kind of help prepare you if you still feel like you're not ready to upgrade to Rise, to help offer you some additional training, some additional resources to get you prepared for that, so that later on down the road that you can. Renell, so that's, yeah, use the email that I put in the chat box. Just use that email, and that's the email address you're going to contact to get the marketing materials. But that you make sure that you have finished step 1 through 6, and schedule your call with your coach. And Joe, yes, it is possible to promote Digital Altitude even if you're not at the Rise level. but you're going to, your profits are going to be maximized if you are. But if you're not ready to do that yet, at digital at the as the Aspire Plus level, will help you get to that point. But yes, a short answer is you can promote it without being a Rise member. All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you guys for attending. Hopefully that helps to clarify some stuff about the Aspire program, Digital Insiders, and your Digital Insiders marketing materials. And feel free, if you guys have any additional questions, if you haven't gone through the training yet, or if you still go back through the training, you still have some additional questions that you need help with, then we'll be doing this masterclass again next week, same time, same day, same time. So thank you guys all for attending. I'll see you next week.